Yo, 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 what is going on, CoD Familia? It is your boy B, and today we are going to be covering the 6049 drama in the KvK between TFS and BNR. Now, again, the matchup here for this 6049 KvK group previously was TFS, BNR, OO, and they were going up against NXWED, and then you had WGL that was solo. Now, the claim here is that BNR betrayed TFS and OO due to an end of season reward dispute. Now, this later changed the teams, which we'll get into along the way, to where BNR joined the opposite, and then WGL, who was solo and kind of like passively helping out NXWED post Zone 2, even if it was indirectly, eventually joined the TFS side and opted for no more solo-ing at that point. So I'm going to share you some feedback today from a TFS member in management. We're going to share with you responses from Mia, who's the R5 of BNR, and then at least one R4 and another source from WGL, as well, as these were kind of the three main players that were a part of the situation more directly than OO, NXW, and ED, at least from what I understand. Now, again, if more comes out from that after this video, I'm happy to take that down, sit down, maybe even do a follow-up if need be, of course, but we're trying to focus on just the primary portion. So I'll be sharing with you their pieces along with screenshots, and then at the end, I'm going to give you my thoughts and conclusion on how I see things based on what we have heard and what we've shown thus far. As always, if you enjoy the content, make sure you throw us up, because that was a lot. Thanks. Okay, let's get into it. I'm going to go cam off, just so, again, we can show everything appropriately. And we're going to start with the TFS side. So, Vico, who is one of the R4s, and again, everyone that is named and or has shared something, right, did give permission, and each of the summaries have been approved by those individuals, and or if they've already sent me something, right, at that point, then we've just included it, and whether or not they're anonymous, depending on if they have said so or not. So let's get into the first one here, right? From the TFS side, Vico said, Jason's threat to Mia was 5 days before the FZ. I think this was in reference to maybe something I had shown on stream at the time. They didn't let us bring an extra shell into the FZ because from them, that's my side, without reasoning why. Gave the vibe of them already planning to betray or not letting us get merits so they get the end of season. Our builder deleted the tower at the pass to relieve pressure. TFS never wanted end of season rewards. We wanted the frame. No matter which data pool would have been chosen, TFS would have ended up with the frame. And again, we'll get into that as well once we show some screens. BNR does not understand how data pools work. The pool from the 13th does include the data from the 12th and not the 13th. They argued that we used 10 hours too much for data. And I imagine Vico might have been just saying that I guess maybe it was too long of time between there. The wording here does confuse me a bit, but it will make more sense once we get to the screenshots. But wanted us to use 14, which was too little. Like WTF. Okay, what the F? They just did not accept that they lost in regards of merits. Mia went into total psychosis and sent 34 messages in a row to me. Decision was not up to TFS because OO was second place and BNR third. So it was up to them to decide who gets what because TFS wanted the frame. OO and BNR both didn't even want the frame. TFS said if either one of them betrays, we will be on the side of the one that gets betrayed. in this case, based on what BNR from the TFS POV had done, they opted to stay with OO. The timeline was provided, and everyone more or less agreed. Okay. So there's a lot of screens here, right? And I think a few of these are really going to summarize well, but I at least want to show off everything that was sent to me from Vico, from what I also understood Jason did approve as well. So here we go. This is Vico and Mia saying, okay, I need you back in Leadership Discord for reward talks. All right, I finished data. I saw the results. Seriously, I'm at work in a few hours. Dragon opens in 3 hours. How long are you working? Now, personally, again, depending on like how long, on what times they plan to do things, and maybe they did already message people in advance. Oh, you know what? Let me come back, because I don't think there'll be a problem here with this. It's just the tech stuff. I probably should have done this on the last one too as well, once we got the screenshots. So my thing is, right, as long as you are giving people enough heads up notice, like at least a 24-hour notice before the results are going to be posted, and you're coming up to a decision time, or if it's getting to the end of maybe a decision window, and maybe not just 24 hours before, but maybe you do 2 or 3 or so, right, depending on how long the window is, just as more friendly reminders. And I like to view it as a little bit more professional courtesy. So it's, for example, if you got 24 hours before the merit window ends, right, you just let everyone know, listen, hey, everyone, just wanted to give a quick reminder at 24 hours left in the merit race. Right, it's going to be ending on this day and at this time in UTC, preferably, because that's in game for everyone. And then we are going to post the results on the Discord, right? Make sure you are there. Doing something like that is really, I feel, important, because it's not out of sight and out of mind. It's always inside and in the mind. Now, maybe they did that, maybe they didn't. I'm just saying generally, that's something I would expect. And or even if you did it at the very beginning. Right? Not saying you necessarily have to do it 24 hours before, but at least one time, whether it's at the start of the event and you're detailing out, this is when it starts on this day at this UTC, this is when it stops on this day in this UTC. Everyone is to be in this Discord. Here's the link. We're going to post the results on this day, either prior to or no later than this time on the day, so everyone can see. And if you have any questions, right, maybe we allow a small window of time in case anyone needs to, right? So we're not doing things, as an example, 3 hours right before Dragon Open. So again, a small thing for me, but it feels like some of these things could have been done a little bit earlier. Again, only based on what we've seen so far. Okay, a few hours. I am shocked by the result. You sure about it? How did BR do so badly? I counted 10 to 4. It's not like that. Okay, next. I sent all the sheets with the data, Leadership Discord, so everyone can check again. Data system at the start of Zone 4 until last reset. I was surprised as well. And then Mia has this, right, which I'm assuming is from, and the minus 10-4. So I'm imagining, I don't know if that means October 4th, or if it's like 10. I don't think it would be a 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. or like a 10 UTC to 4 UTC thing. So I'm imagining it's more of a date here. So, and again, maybe that's just the way they write it out. So I have this from the 10th. 3 days merit is the same as 7 days. Today is an extremely day for me. I just started to work. Okay, I mean, final zone fights really started on Saturday. I know, but I don't know how to answer my people. I joined, but I can't be around for long. Okay. I'll check again and give you the roles. Send me the data. I asked my guys to check. I'm not doubting you. Just feels super upset, like super. And then you could see, right, some of the data was sent here. Now this says top 100, so I guess that means that's how they were going about doing it there. And then obviously Vigo sent the information there as well. Okay, next screen. Do you have the 12th of October data? So, yes, I'll send it to you in 50 minutes. I'm eating right now. I thought is 1 day before Dragon. So shouldn't it be the 12th? And this is where you start to get the first glimpse of what I really think is the challenge and the difficulties here. And what I mean by this, and I think this is going to get hammered throughout, is that communication, and the devil is in the detail, is so vitally important that it cannot be understated. And this, to me, is the kind of teaser opening to what I think it very well may end up coming down to as we continue on. Okay, yes, it's with the data from yesterday. Your data is 13th October or 12th October reset. Now, this is important to understand because the 13th of October reset would refer to the entire day of the 12th going into the 13th at the reset. That's how I would interpret that. 12th October reset is the 11th going into the 12th at reset. Very important to understand this. Okay. It is with the fighting from October 12th. Can I have the 12th October data, please? So at this point, hopefully you're starting to get it, right? Because the next 20 or so screenshots are really, for the most part, reiterating this point on that there is a communication breakdown and there's an understanding breakdown or misinterpretation or misunderstanding because some things may not have been clear enough. That's kind of what I'm gathering so far, right? That's just what my little spider sense any belly button tingle sensation is going on right now. Okay. Yes, I'm eating right now. Said, okay, thanks. Sorry for the trouble. End data is the end date, right? I pull during reset. Okay, it includes the whole day of the 12th, which is the day before the dragon opening. Which rewards do you want? And then again, a days before dragon opening shouldn't include the 12th. That's why I message you. Rest after my flight. One day I'm too tired to crash. I can do this. So again, you're starting to figure it out, right? Okay, I don't think we should be the last for sure. We fought the most. We block ED, meaning we took one out. You took frame. I take EOS. I don't think OO will be happy. Of course, I will be happy with EOS. In terms of contributions to the coalition, at least we kick ED out. How do you expect me to tell my guys we are the worst coalition? OO lost everything, never helped in Zone 3. TFS never fought more than half the season, but BR is the worst side. And then Vico, which, again, I think respectable here. Like, I didn't watch too much of the PvP here, so I'm just only going off of this. But the fact that they're saying, like, I'm not disagreeing with you, aka I see what you're saying, and I aka agree with you ish. Okay, that's why we want the frame at least. And again, at least recognizing it from the TFS perspective. Okay, respect. But that isn't our fault that we got dodged. I know I say I'm disappointed. I think if you talk with Puppet, he might agree with you for getting EOS. I already replied in the DC. Let's see, I'm on your side. It wouldn't be fair if we take EOS, so we're taking the frame. And again, I think that's big. I will say, I think that's big on TFS and anyone else in a similar situation where you have a level of self-awareness to understand what you contributed versus what other people contributed, even if you're factoring in the opportunities to fight, and then who took most advantage, right? Who took full advantage of each zone opportunity to go out in PvP, and maybe factoring in who also spent the most, right? Who lost the most, who invested the most, regardless if you had an opportunity to invest or not. Remember, to get the win, it is a group effort, but it doesn't mean that each individual piece put forth the same amount of effort to get the group result. And so again, I think that it seems on face value on paper, that seems big of TFS in that case, right? Obviously, if everything panned out that way. Okay, support me. Haha, so he kind of like calling for the passive support of her reaching out to Puppet. I asked Puppet, pass me. By the way, okay, I doubt so. Who will going up? He died so much. I mean, we said yes, even though we could have taken EOS based on the data. Okay, so I'm very confused now. This whole thing, how to announce to my guys, why are we the worst? And you can kind of see this theme here of it going back and forth between how Mia feels about the overall situation and, you know, Vico's attempt to console and to try and, you know, find some middle ground here. Everyone is expecting the least frame. Now how to tell them we get first occupation when we did the best 3, right? And it's just kind of like a constant reiteration. Not sure I crashed. Okay. Okay, just to be clear, what are we counting as October 12th? It would include the start of the 12th at reset until 23. So now we're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're 8 screenshots in. And you could see here from the bottom, we finally get something that is specific and detailed of a timeline. So next one, I thought I thought his 4th start to 12th reset. Okay. Since 1 day before. So only the 11th, because the nest is 2 days before, not 1 day before, if the 12th isn't counted. Dragon is on the 13th, 1 day prior is the 12th. I don't know. And again, you can see here, what they should be doing is going off of UTC times in game, because a day interpreted from one person can be a day interpreted from another, depending on where you are. And also just how you might be thinking it in your mind versus how someone else is, right? This is why it's always very important to go off of the universal time or the UTC time in game, because it shows that way for everyone, right? So that should always be your primary time metric that you're utilizing. And then you do individual conversions to the time that where you are, right? Where you reside. Okay. Yes, so it includes the 12th. You have the number. Okay, putting it, file, send me copy. I got to check. Okay, but we need to set the technicalities right now. If the whole day is the 12th of the 12 is included, you already have the data. Otherwise, it would be the data of the 11th and not the 12th, because I did it with the data that was pulled at reset, so the whole 12th. I noticed, let me see. Okay, the final results is with the data, including the 12th. This is the pull from the 11th, but that is 2 days prior, so it does not count. No 12th. The 12th is the data I used for the end result. You already got that. You mean pull on the 13th. So again, right? Okay, now you're getting a very specific time, which you would assume would have already been conveyed at the beginning when the reward distribution plan and the merit counting window plan was provided, right? So everyone's on the same page essentially at this point, right? Or going in to it before everything starts. Okay, and then Mia says, okay, I see the difference is 12 or no 12. Yes, but one for I have the number, I want you to check. This is for the 11th. On the 11th, you could see BNR is winning. Thanks. Let me try to argue. Okay. So now it's like, okay. And then because it says no, it's just, I'll tell you about, like, you cannot make this up, right? So your dad, okay. Everything is pretty much the same. So I'm gonna fast forward, right? Because we finally got to specifics. So I'm gonna go a little faster now here at this point, right? So you guys can still see everything. Okay. And then obviously, like, you do agree we deserve it. They fight WGL last day. Okay. Okay, so here we go. Now we get to the next one, which is, okay, Mia says, hi, Vico. I want to inform you I left the Diplo chat and BR does not accept the TFS decision. We will not take Dragon first occupation. I still stand that the merit run doesn't count the 12th because it is 1 day before Dragon Open. If TFS or OO take the Dragon without our consent, then the Allied Treaty is broken. We will retreat to Zone 1. The Diplo end on the 14th due to our Augur Stone. What happened to Zone 5 after is none of our business. If you want further negotiations, you are welcome to talk to us after the 14th. Okay. And then Vico replies, it wasn't a TFS decision. Y'all agreed to it at the beginning of the season. Again, this is where you can, again, you're continuing to see where the breaking point is, right? Where is the confusion point? This is it. Okay. OO and BNR both accepted. And how should we negotiate if you aren't there? I also send this in to Puppet. We only want the frame. We don't care about the Ambers. You can go take. We go to Zone 1, right? Okay, so now it's kind of, you could see. So things are kind of already getting done now. I have a problem with the result. That's all. I'm getting out of the mess. I'm tired. Got shouted at, insulted. Then 1v2 in the chat. Thanks, Vico, for the KvK. It is what it is. I'm going to zone 1 to be safe. Okay. Right. I don't trust Jason, especially after what he's saying on my DM 4 days ago. I am an R5. I protect 150 people. I need to go call them to go back. I can't endanger their life. Best to be in zone 1. Jason wouldn't attack you. We made that clear. We're not. Better to be safe. 150 zeroed and lose the whole team who followed me for 3 years. Sorry, I need to be safe. How do you want to proceed? Nothing. Right. We're just going to go back to zone 1. Okay, so which rewards are you going to be claiming? None. Only EOS, else nothing. But taking rewards isn't the right move as well for your players, right? And then just kind of a consistent amount of going, right? Right, in the end, they lose Hydra anyways, right? Saying we're going to leave Jew, give WGL Zone 2, fight for the coach. This should work. Okay. And then this is just, I think, a little bit more of that. Yeah. And you can see... right. And again, this is one of the, some people type like this. Some people will just send, like, they won't just type a full message out. Some people will do it like that, where they'll send just a bunch of individual messages. Right. So, okay. And then we say, right, I understand why you feel that way. I'd be upset as well, but it's not up to TFS. Okay. It's between you and OO. I say my piece. Nobody want any changes. O wouldn't accept for sure. Everyone is selfish. They also want something for themselves. TFS isn't. That's why we went with there, right, and just kind of going back and forth. Okay. Now we're on the 14th. Nothing changed. Our diplo ended. Thanks. Right, and then we get from Vigo, right, you were the most hypocritical person I've met in a while in this game. Yesterday, you spammed my DMs with 34 messages in a row crying about not wanting to get hit by us, and you're so scared of Jason, and now you attack us. So at this point, right, things have changed. Okay. So again, right, these are the results. You can see just other things that were said. All right, and this is from the Diplo chat. So I don't care who gets with TFS, right? Just says I just want the frame. Sorry, busy day. BR fight the whole season, block ED into final zone, but was the last of this run. I know it's not TFS' fault to be dodged. Just whining. Numbers are numbers. We don't make them up, and us being dodged is the main reason I'm saying we don't get the amber and only one frame. And again, like I said, I think that's respectable. Right? It's like I can't control the situation, right? We fought as much as we could, but our individual contribution toward the team may not have been as much as other individuals' contributions toward the teams, and we might not have lost as much or had to invest as much overall. So again, right, my stance stays the same, based on what I said from Rico's response that you're seeing as well here from Jason. Okay, I make a daring request. Could you give BR the EO season for awards? If you get end of season awards, we get F'd all for the season, like literally nothing. And then Mia says you have Necro and Sentry. Okay. It was a pleasure playing with everyone. Mia, you can have me as a reward. It's an effing panda, dude. Okay. Obviously, I don't speak for all of O, but we have several members with millions of dead troops from holding off WGL this season. We helped you push into ED zone by distracting them for you. Given our recent loss of a Hydra, we will not get any rewards shops if we let you take Dragon at the end. We actually end with nothing. Okay. Old Man Puppet is sleeping. Once he wakes up, we'll make a decision. BR had fights against ED. We also had a tough season with fighting WGL and ED. We lost around 45 million troops. Now, I mean, the one thing, again, they went off merit. So it's, it's not like they're showing a bunch of other stats in other areas, right? That's kind of what their main focal point is here. So, yeah. Okay. I know it's tough for you guys, and my guys work very well too. And this is just kind of, I think, a similar case of like everyone feels like they contributed a lot in their own way. And what it really comes down to is trying to have some kind of a system in place that is fair for everyone, it's clear and transparent, and everyone has realistic expectations going in. And to me, it feels like that's a little bit of what's happening now, and what I have seen consistently in some KvKs when situations like these arise and almost kind of break through the cracks because of one kingdom feeling their individual contributions are greater than another's. And it's not to say that that never is true or is never not true. But what it comes down to is that you can't come up with a system, and I'll say this as well in the same breath. You can't all agree to a system. And then at the end of the day, once the results are there, you disagree with the results. And then you start advocating for X factors that were not included within the competition windows parameters as far as what you were utilizing to gauge and to get your results. Right. An example of that would be saying, well, we're going to use merits, but then people send you a bunch of data on kills, deads, and mana spent. You know what I mean? It's like, we're not factoring that in. But again, that's why you have those discussions in the beginning to figure those things out. So following his post, I understand you fought all season with ED and pushed them back from the final zone. We helped you as allies should. We sacrificed hospital to go in. ED focuses all the time, which they did. We gave help to everyone because this is a team game. You can come to our zone and get our sentries in case, if you missed it, sentries only give rewards amber if you have 6 of them. Necros only give rewards token if you have 3 necros. So you were telling me by coming to help with your invasion and being more weak fighting in 2 or fronts, even 3, did not give us an advantage against a kingdom that had the rough same power as us and was only focusing us is only our fault. That at the end of the season, we should have told you at Gate 4 that we would not come and help because we would be too stretched. You have already a Hydra shop. We don't because we came and helped you and injured ourselves. You are an R5, but a bad ally. Jeez. Okay, you hope everyone will give you only what you want, but you don't want to compromise. You want it all. Since you have the zone 3, you can let you come into our zone 3 and get our sentries. You then get 6 sentries, amber shot from Hydra. We get shot from Dragon, amber from Dragon. We can even agree we can all share Dragon rewards, Dragon for elite Dragon rewards, but we keep Dragon at the end. We all face losses. We all fought and put many hours on the game. Let's all be allies and not being difficult and help and respect each other. And then Jake Easy just comes in. So TFS is getting the frame right. Like, my guy never misses an opportunity to be like, well, listen, I'm still gonna get what I want, right? Like, even though it's like the last one, it's like, okay, oh, that was good. I already have. You can collect that garbage. There you go, Chowie. You tell him. Okay. Okay, guys, I need your attention, but we don't care about the frame. Just like, my God. Okay. Right. And then, right, Mia posting the screen here. All right. This is how we decide about EOC's rewards. One day prior to Dragon opening, Dragon open the 13th, I asked for 12 stats on 12th reset. Right. So again, you're seeing this reiterated on like really what it's coming down to again. And then Miko says, no, those are the results of the 11th. I told you that multiple times. Okay. That's not my purpose. I take daily stats from Vico. I have 4th, 5th, 6th, etc. I'm not doing this on purpose to track my own team too. That's why I went back. Again, this is like a philosophical belief. Like, I believe this thing means this. And then the other person is like, I believe this thing means this, right? Okay. So continuing on. Write down the stats. Okay, use the stats from this day. We have stopped merits in zone 2. Okay. When does she do that? When and where? How much does she do? Evidence. Okay. Now we don't want to start shite, but we have an agreement now we're discussing after that. I didn't take screenshots of the whole screen because I'm not looking for discussions. If we had lost, basically emptied 4 farms at 3 million elixir, you got the bug. Oh, sorry, from the bug, she burned farm for RSS. She don't pay tax. And then someone said that doesn't work anymore. Okay. How much merit you get from burning less than 50? She didn't burn. She was sending legions into her own. Killing 12 million units is still merits. If you consort is doing this, how can we trust any merit count of your alliance? I will ask her, but I swear I banned merit farms since zone 2. Right. And so now you get some accusations coming back and forth, right? Regardless if warranted or not. Now a little bit more of cracks are starting to show here and there. Okay. So conclusion, the stats are still the same. TFS takes training, we take Dragon. Done deal, thanks. She's like, geez. And we want a dance video from Jason. I mean, listen, who doesn't want a dance video from Jason? Like, he can even just cover his face. Base this, it's not. Guys, let's stop bickering. Please, everyone. Vico provided the data and the results from the data agreement was made from day 1. Mia, you asked Sheesh politely, and they said no. That's it. Simple numbers don't lie. This is from the 11th. Vico told you this. Please stop twisting words. It's technically 14-hour before Dragon. It's not 1 day. I thought when we count day, it ends on 12. So again, now you're getting It took this long for us to get there, but you finally get there, right? Where it's like, oh, this is how I was thinking. Again, because what my fear is that it wasn't specifically articulated in the beginning. And we'll see. We'll see if it was or not, right? Because I think we have some of those screens coming up. I'm not twisting words. That's my understanding. That's why I ask about it. Yes, VCO numbers ends on the 13th. I mean, we should end on 12th, 0 UTC. Okay. Right. And the data comes in after the day. The numbers you were showing for the day before on the 11th. The 12th is this. No VCOs down on the 13th, showing data from the 12th. Right. And then right here. Okay. 14th before Dragon opens. Okay. With your logic, it would be 38 hours before open. It doesn't make sense as well. One day before Dragon opening includes the 12th. Because to me, one day before August asks for the result, you cannot get it. So again, get into the same thing. Okay. So let's fast forward a little bit here. And let's go to, right. So then you have this, just woke up, taking a century. Okay, why not? And then I don't see Mia here at the moment, right? So, and then you have a post here that's made, which again was just a single one taken from a previous that we showed. And then we have some other screenshots here. But this high probability will just fight NXW in zone 2. There's no reason for them to go FFA. If not, okay, so if that happens, TFS will have no one to fight, BNR, OO, right? Whatever we would do without your summary. The VN and VGL said that if they win, WGL get Necro. If they lose, NXW, that's why WGL's unhappy. But NXW send World Chat COD GC. They will give WGL everything. Don't know who is right. They can do whatever they want, just like have to have our team system in place as early as possible. Okay, and then a post came here, right, which kind of shows some of the opening dates. Now, right, they have the important dates listed. So Jason says here, if we count merits from invasion moving forward, then the same system is in place, right? So it'd be from invasion going forward, right? So from the 10 to 10-4 to whenever, right? Now, I don't know if they said if they stated an end date or not. So merit trade during that time should be enforced. I assume. I don't think we can get decided until zone 2 happens to be because she's okay. Our original plan is to attack Ryoka. I see she's focused on WG, even though NXW is saying focus WG to lock them in zone 1. Okay. And that's okay. So, okay, thanks. I leave all the calculation to you. Jason, can I get the 150? Okay, great. I will take the Sunday before gate 2, copy you from then, PM you on Sunday. Okay, thanks. I knew it. That slave driver. Okay. So basically at this point, right, because this was on the 19th of September, and then you're seeing this is on 9/9, right? This is 9/19, right? So 19th of September, and this is on the 9th. So like 10 days later, if I'm reading this right, then it's like, okay, hey, I'm agreed. But the one thing I don't see specifically, like I was saying, is okay, well, where's the thing that's saying what was the beginning time and the ending time and beginning date, end date, right? We have a beginning date of the 4th. And again, the assumption would be the 4th at reset, but right, there's nothing just specific there. So let's see what Mia has to say now. And then I only have a couple screens here. So we're basically almost done at this point. Let me disappear and just whoosh, reverse Houdini myself. Okay, BNR gave access to zone 3 to prep for 6 sentries. TFS wanted fifth final zone gate in BNR zone 3. Mia said no. Jason threatened Mia, said he needs quick answer. Mia said she would reply in an hour and did with a no. BNR left NXW to TFS since TFS complained about not getting a lot of PvP. So now I'm like really confused about what I meant there. BNR left NXW to I don't know what I meant on this line now that I'm really like looking at it. Because I said this and it got approved, but now I'm like, maybe I'm confusing myself here. When TFS downtime, BNR helped defend the Dragon until their uptime. Merit contest for EOS ran from level 4 pass to 1 day before Dragon opens. Okay, so there you go, right? So now it's something stated that you know, right? Which would be October 12th if opens on the 13th. asked for merit report data at 23:59 on October 11th, which BNR was first. They ended up ended up ending the merit report on 23 UTC on the 12th, right, which is the day before 13th at reset, which BNR was third. Could not fight to gain more merits after they pushed ED out and were territory blocked to get to NXW. TFS was first, OO second, BNR third. TFS frame, OO EOS, BNR first cap. Asked OO if BNR could have EOS, feeling they contributed more. If not, BNR would fight. OO replied with fight, meaning that they were down to fight. Unhappy at this point, BNR refuses to take any rewards, felt disrespected. And then at this point, that's when you saw that they left and they were just going to go back to zone 1. Okay? TFS, now they reported, Vico reported, I believe from what I saw, that BNR had attacked, if it was OO or had attacked first. And then here they're saying TFS attacked BNR first. Now, to me, unless there's a timeline that says we have joined the other team and then attacking happened after that and it was public knowledge, so be it. Doesn't really matter to me who attacks first at that point. And that's saying BXR joins NXW and ED. Now, if BNR just said we've left and we're just going to go back to zone 1, that's, I think, where it gets a little bit iffy, depending on who attacked who first. But I haven't seen anything that like establishes a timeline to me on that. Okay. NXW ED caught wind and reached out. This is catching wind of the PvP happening right there in the final zone. They then started to attack TFS and OO. BNR did not ally. It was more like a nap from basically from what they stated, because their thing was like, we just only wanted to attack TFS and OO. In the end, NXW took first cap and frame. BNR took EOS. ED was okay with I believe with whatever they might have been able to get due to not being able to build the dragon in time, as they might have been low on RSS or so. Offered Necro to ED and they had accepted. And then NXW and ED, very respectful. And BNR said, Mia said that she wished they would have allied with them from the beginning. OO asked WGL to ally for a 3v3 and not a 4v2 that it could have been. WGL requested Jason apologize and they get end of season. And then obviously Jason did apologize. Now here's some screens, right? Here's one of Jason's apology. Good morning, everyone. I would like to apologize to WG and hope we can move past a rough start this season. I hope we can work together the last few days to fight in the FC together. Let's coordinate some attacks together, all three of us, not just one by one. We have not given up, but TFS took a day to heal after the last fight. And then here's just another screenshot. I believe these ones were from the BNR WGL side, but one posted just saying, right, with the highlight of one day. And then we had one here from Puppets as well. And yes, we want EOS. I would have liked to decline because you only think about knowing everything. We have nothing. The fact is we fought harder, helped distract TD while gaining tons of death from WGL. So now we get to me reaching out to WGL. So I reached out and I heard from Soha, who was one of the R4s, said, we would have still worked with TFS even if Jason didn't apologize. Even if we see TFS again, regardless of what Jason did or will do, we would like to keep diplomatic opportunities open. Okay, fair enough. And then I reached out to someone else from WGL. And again, I'm keeping them anonymous for now. Right, they stated that TFS OO offered a 3v3 to team up with WGL, but they needed an apology from Jason first. So this person in WGL has a little differing of an opinion here, that they did want an apology from Jason before teaming up. And I interpret that as it feels like that was a requirement. Did not care about the rewards from WGL. They were just happy to fight some more for the remainder of the season. After reaching an agreement, they noticed that TFSO may have been exhausted, given PvP did not last that long in the final zone after the new teams were set. And again, it kind of goes into what you saw from a screenshot there as well, from Jason saying that they had to take a day to heal, right? So now you get to my conclusion. For me, this is where I end. And it's pretty straightforward. In nowhere of any of the screenshots or anything that was written, did I see that they were specific on the times that they meant in UTC? They just assumed, right? Which, okay, fair enough. Some of you will say, well, that makes sense. Why wouldn't they? Why would you think it's any other time, right? Besides reset going in. But if you're saying you're going from the 4th to the 12th and you're not listing what time you're taking into account for merits being gained that go into your results, to me, I feel like you got to be specific there, especially when you guys are just coming out and saying like one day before. Now, it may feel very simple to some people. It might feel unnecessary to others. But the point still remains is that the devil is in the detail. And that is where you have to be very specific. And it doesn't take that long to type out some UTC times. And I'm just saying, based on what I'm seeing, I have two completely different viewpoints. It does not appear to me that BNR, it doesn't appear to me that BNR betrayed in what I would consider to be a legit or real betrayal, in my opinion. What it looks to me is that BNR had felt that the dates applied this way, and TFS and OO felt the dates applied this way. And because of the difference, BNR felt that, okay, well, like the others, right? We contributed a lot. What, we should be deserving this. We're just gonna take ourselves out of the equation, and we're just not going to be involved. And then the second part is at some point, some attacking happened, and then again, NXW and ED reached out. It wasn't like BNR reached out to them. They reached out and said, hey, what's happening? What's going on? And then basically said, BNR basically just said, look, like, we just want to fight TFS and OO, regardless if that's exactly how the conversation went down or not. Right? That's what they said. And at the end of the day, we know how that played out with NXW and ED fighting with them. And then WGL is just kind of hanging out there solo. They're like, well, F it, might as well go ahead and join someone to get some more PvP before the season ends. And then Bob's your uncle, right? That's where we're at. So, and you can see here, right? ED, BNR, and NXW, right, ended up taking it for the season. So, like I said, that's where my conclusion is at the end. Is it? I guess I feel like if I'm getting down to the bottom of it, it really just came down to being as specific as they could have been with the timeline and detailing that out as clearly as they could. Now, maybe there were some other screenshots we didn't see that did do that specifically. Maybe there were some DMs that did that prior, like well in advance, or at least a couple days prior to the 13th coming up, right? / or 12th, the day before Dragon. Okay, I'd have to see those. Now, I can also see it from the other side, where from TFS's and OO's perspective, they probably felt like, man, we were clear. We said these are the dates. We said a day before Dragon. They're not accepting it. Now, whether or not they really betrayed or not, like I said, I think that really comes down to, well, okay, did BNR, because to me, if they betrayed, it would have had to be them dropping out, reaching out to NXWED and saying, we want to team up while WGL was still solo, basically flipping it and doing a 2v3, right? Which is exactly what TFS, BNR, and OO had against NXWED. That, to me, I would feel more safe about saying, like, okay, that's full on. Like, okay, you reached out to them. You wanted to basically swap the 3v2 into a 2v3 against them. I feel like that's a little bit more in line with what I would consider kind of more of an authentic betrayal. But like I said, unless some of those things come to light, right, this is just how it looks to me at face value. So, I mean, does it suck at the end of the day for how things played out? Absolutely. Do I think that this was completely avoidable? And do I think that I would categorize this as a controllable situation? Absolutely. I do. But again, sadly, those things didn't happen. And you can see how, and I hope if anything, people realize how something very small can snowball into something massive and big that you didn't necessarily intend for it to, But because something wasn't done with a level of due diligence and care that maybe some people thought wasn't needed, turned into what it was. And some of you might say, well, it's ridiculous. Some of you might say, well, you know what, boss, that's warranted. I get what you're saying. Regardless on what side you fall on, I'll just end with the devil is in the detail. And being better safe than sorry is what I would recommend. But that's my thoughts. I'd love to know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments below. That's it for me. As always, until next time, we'll catch you later.